Okay, morning all, just going to go straight into it. Upper and lower bounds part 2 today. The main aim of today's lesson is to discuss the applications of upper and lower bounds and then do some questions from the exercise in the textbook. Now, easy number 1 is going to be a bathroom tile is 12 centimeters to the nearest centimeter. I'm going to ask you to do 3 things. So we're going to find the upper bound and lower bound of the side length of each tile. Part B, find the upper bound and lower bound of the perimeter of each tile. And part C, find the upper bound and lower bound of the area of each tile. Now part A is the stuff we did last time. So you've got a measurement of 12 centimeters, effectively to the nearest integer, to the nearest centimeter. And the upper bound and lower bound would be circling the number that's going to be rounded up or down, looking at the number next door, which is 0.0, and effectively going 5 above, 5 below, to 11.5 centimeters and 12.5 centimeters. And that's the lower bound, and that's the upper bound. Pretty straightforward. But part B and part C are the new stuff for today. So this tile, by the way, is square, and the measurements are 12 centimeters to the nearest centimeter, and that's the same, 12 centimeters. Now, to work out the perimeter of a square, or the perimeter of a rectangle, wherever it might be, you just add the lengths around the outside. So perimeter P is equal to all of the lengths around the outside, so 4L, where L is the length of the tile. Now we want to find the lower bound for this value. So the lowest possible perimeter if the lengths are 12 centimeters to the nearest centimeter. So let's think about that. The lowest possible perimeter if the lengths are 12 centimeters to the nearest centimeter. I'm going to call that perimeter minimum, P minimum. And it makes sense, so that would be if you pick the lowest possible side length, so 4 times the lower bound. If you work out what 4 times 11.5 is, you get 46 centimeters is the lower bound. And the upper bound, the maximum, which I'll call P max. Okay, this time you want the perimeter to be as big as possible, so you would do 4 times 12.5. Type that into your calculator. 4 times 12.5, which is 50 centimeters. So stick to the formula and then pick the right, lower and upper bounds. Part C. This time they want you to do exactly the same with the area of the tile. So area is equal to the lengths squared, or length times length. You want the minimum, the lower bound. I'll call that area minimum. If you want the area to be as small as possible, you would have to pick the lower bounds for the side lengths. So 11.5 squared. Type that into your calculator, which is 132.25, and area would be centimeters squared. And similarly, the maximum area would be picking the upper bound, 12.5, at 12.5 squared is 156.25 centimeters squared. So there's just an extra layer of difficulty where you're given a formula, you want to find the upper and lower bounds of that formula, choosing upper and lower bounds of each value in that formula, in this case the lengths. Okay, let's make it a little bit harder. E.g. number 2. Okay, I'm going to give you the population of 2 different cities. So Cardiff has a population of, let's say, 350,000 to the nearest 1,000. Try again. And we'll have Nottingham has a population of 314,000 to the nearest 1,000. I'm going to ask you to find the upper and lower bounds of the difference in populations. I'm going to highlight that word difference. Okay, let's think about what you would do with this. The upper and lower bounds are the difference in populations. Well, you could work out the difference of the populations pretty easily. It would be just to subtract 314,000 away from 350,000. But we have to take into account their upper and lower bounds. So Cardiff, 350,000 to the nearest 1,000. Thousands column is that one there. You look at the number next door and you go 5 above, 5 below. So what would this be? It would be 3, let me think about this. So the easy one first. 350,500 and 349,500. That one's a lower bound. That one's the upper bound for Cardiff. Nottingham, 314,000. Circle the thousands column. 5 above, 5 below, the number next door to it. So 5 above this, 314,500. 5 below, 313,500. It's always easier to do the upper bound first. Okay, so lower bound, upper bound. So the actual population for Cardiff is between 349,500 and 350,500, and for Nottingham is between 313,500 and 314,500.